Hello, beautiful peasants, and welcome back to the tavern. It's gonna be a good day today, I can tell. Alright, well, it is 2 for Tuesday, peasants, so gather around, because today we have not just one, but 2 models to sculpt today. They're inspired by the Abomination in Darkest Dungeon 2. If you're not familiar, you should check out the game, it's really cool. There's 2 of them. And yeah, I'll tell you more about that character when we get there. But just a little preview, it's going to be a tortured soul human, and then a beastly nightmare warped by eldritch horrors. Will they be terrifying? Absolutely. Will they be 3D printable? Don't start with me. Okay. Also, on a fun note, today's Taverb menu is open for the first time in a bit. What does that mean? It just means if you do donate, so through SuperChat, which is real money, you can actually buy stuff. So the details are in the description. I almost said deets. I'm like, I don't say that. Anyway. I did add one mostly as a joke today, which is you can ban someone for 5 minutes for $1. I was mostly joking. And then you guys like ask questions about it. It is real, I will honor that. And so we do have our donation pool today too. If it hits $35, there's a Taverb Pet. Like always, you can just buy it outright for $30. So yeah, welcome in. The Taverb is open. Yeah, and I also have something called buy around. So for $10, it extends the stream by 2 hours. It normally also adds another model, but I don't know if I want to do 3 today. That seems insane. So I'm just promising an extra 2 hours if we do that. Thanks, just Lingle, for starting us off with a nice hydration. But seriously, grab a drink, grab a snack. I now have to really consciously not say grab a shrink. I tried combine drink and snack. I said it once yesterday on stream by accident, and then I could not stop saying it. Yeah, I hope you guys are good. Hello to everyone but Aloha. But no, seriously. Hello to Paint, Wendelier, Empress, Reaper, the favorite mod of the day, Louise, and Volt the robot. Oh, of course, and Bunny. Like the stream, grab a drink and a snack, not a shrink, unless you need that. Not standard offering of the Taverb, though. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day. The weather has officially all the way cooled off. Yesterday we did full work day, and then on top of that, we took the top of the shelter for my horse off. We just have like that dinky shelter logic, so it's got normal corral panels and then like a metal spine to it with a tarp pulled over it. But it's just a tarp, so we've had it up for about a year, so it's starting to tear. So we took the whole thing down and then did like a little Gorilla Tape patch. Actually looks pretty good. But yeah, it was nice to do that and not die in the heat. That was very enjoyable. I also rode for the first time in weeks yesterday. Spartan's feeling a lot better, not lame, no abscesses. Yay, fingers crossed. I'm really trying to get a lot of writing time in because next month, October something, I have that cow sorting clinic. Be a real cowgirl, guys. I'm actually really nervous. It's like I don't want to look stupid, but I'm going to look stupid. It's part of it, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have a good time. I'm also gonna try to be as prepared as possible. For the most part, my horse is not afraid of cows, so we have a good start. Unless they're white. The neighbors have one white cow, and he loses his shit every single time. So as long as there's no white cows, we'll be fine. Oh, man. Y'all got any plans for September? Anything fun? The Tennessee Valley Fair is happening in a couple days, so I'll be there. That'll be fun. Wait, it's a grim dark stream? It is a grim dark stream. It's been a good time. And 2 models at that. Again, they're inspired by the Abomination in Darkest Dungeon, so technically it's the same guy, but the models are going to look totally distinct. And I'm going to help myself out a little bit today by reusing some base meshes that you guys have not seen before. I'm really excited to use this technique. About 8 months ago, really about a year ago, I started streaming. My skills kind of just leveled up all the way across the board, and also my workflow has been a bit tighter. So I started saving my projects before posing in the hopes I can kit bash from them later. Like a super upgraded kit bash. So hopefully we'll try to get good use of that. And for that, I did all my outside time this weekend with family and Labor Day. Oh, how nice. Very nice. Bunny says, I'm officially unemployed. Positive. I appreciate you clarifying. I'm taking a couple weeks off before heading to school for bookbinding. That's so exciting. I know you took one course, so is this a follow-up to that, or is this... I need to know all the details. It's very cool to me. Empress says, September is sculpt like mad for me. I like it. Yeah, I guess kind of think of it as an unofficial little Sculptober here. I like it. I kind of roll my shoulders out, get ready for the stream. All right. Bunny says this is a 2-year proper qualification. That is so fucking cool. Like, what? Obviously, as much as reasonable or time permitting, please share pictures and details of like your journey with us in our Discord, because everybody's would love that. I understand that documenting it painstakingly is a big ask, so just itty notes we would love to see. Yeah, amazing. How cool. So if you get this qualification, does that mean you can do like, is that people that take the course you're going to be taking, is that the kind of people they hire to do like those restorations of like really old books and stuff, I imagine? Because I doubt they just let any rando do that. All right, I think we are ready. Bunny says, I think documenting as painstakingly part of the course, building portfolio. Excellent. Hey, Just Lingual. This weekend I finally got assigned my senior capstone. I'm inventing some medical sensor sleeves. That's really cool. Also keep us posted on that. My goodness, what a talented group of peasants. You're still peasants, but you're skilled peasants. I like it. Okay. Let's get rolling. Welcome to the Tavern Keeper's Craft. This is where I take requests on Patreon, which is why I get to do this full time. Thank you to everybody who supports me on Patreon or has in the past or will in the future. I really appreciate it. That's why I can do this full time. You submit a request. Well, first you give me money. You then put in a request, and then I sculpt it on stream. So that is what is happening today. Today is kind of funny. It's an illegal double request. The requester is Aubrey, and Aubrey, okay, one, they're super funny. I now play D&D with them, and they're like that obnoxiously, effortlessly kind of funny. I don't know, somebody that is always, I want to be funny, and I'm not. Anyway, Aubrey is so much fun to play D&D with, because they have that like effortless funny. They're not like interjecting and being obnoxious, but whenever they do talk, it's a banger. Anyway, they technically requested 2 models, and I allowed it, because they're enjoyable, and because this was in February when I wasn't being picky about that. And they've supported my work for like literal years. You get special treatment at some point. Alright, Aubrey says, I preface that I'll be requesting this, and they did. Let us show some love from Darkest Dungeon Abomination. Chained, shackled, tortured, and bound to a monster by the monsters that held him captive. But the question is, should it be the human abomination, the monster, or both? And I was gracious and I picked both. I know Lo was like, no, Mia. I know. So here are some references I gathered. Super small picture. Why are you so small? But there he is. I like some of the details here. Like you see, he has kind of like that more like beast-like ear. And then here's some fan art I found. Apparently we got 10 pixels to work with today. Anyway, let's just go back to the full spread. That they are bigger here. Okay. But yeah, this is the character. We're not copying it from Darkest Dungeon because I'm just not a copier. But something inspired, something cool. So it's going to be a tortured man, some sort of scarring, some beast-like elements. Obviously chains, tattered clothing, and then this beast. So yeah. We're going to start off with the human, and then we'll move on to the abomination. You know, I don't really have a strong preference. Let me just make that a poll. You guys get to pick. Which first? Tortured human or abomination monster? All right, that poll is live. Please vote. It's gonna be open for like 2 minutes. That's it, and then we're moving on. So if 2 people vote, they get all the say. Please don't tie, because I don't have a strong preference. It'd be nice if you guys just picked. And then more updates about Bunny's bookbinding certification process. They mentioned I'd have to do a 3rd year to be qualified as a conservator. It's just a foundation degree if I ever do the first 2 years. But I'm probably gonna do it as an MA. It's like Master of Arts. Very cool. Very cool. Bunny mentioned if you do the monster first, you could use that to inform how the human looks. This is true. I like it. And then Reaper, just single mentioned I've never been part of a mariachi band. Were we asking that? I love that you shared it, but I'm not sure why. Oh, Reaper, what aren't you doing? Seriously, you're the most well-lived guy I know. That's fair. That's fair. Just Lingual does many things. Between him and his wife, they kind of cover it all. Very cool. All right, Abomination Monster is in the lead. I like it. I got kind of a fun cheat for that. You'll see. I was kind of thinking that more fun anyway. So funny enough, the Abomination reminds me a lot of another request that Aubrey asked for, not Darkest Dungeon related. They just asked for a mountain climber. If you know, you already know. If you don't, stay tuned and you'll be surprised. Again, all they requested a long time ago was a mountain climber, and I made a model from it, and it happens to fit quite well for the Abomination, so I'll be transforming that for this new model. Bunny says, I actually can't stick around too long tonight. I'm considering getting back into streaming myself. That's so cool. If you don't, you should share your stream when you do go live. That'd be great. I'm sure many of the peasants would like to lurk and enjoy even more stream content from, I guess the Taverb continues, the Taverb extends. Just Lingual. Peak. Oh my god. That is closed. I'm not getting any water. I know it's not peak, but Abomination Mountain Climber fits. You're right, you're right. Alright, overwhelmingly, the Abomination is in the lead. I like it. We're gonna end that poll. Thank you guys for voting. If you have time to vote, you have time to like the stream. Thank you. Alright, so Aloha is pumped. Aloha is having a good time. Grimdark stream, let's go. Alright, we know what we're doing. Let's get started. So, the Abomination, tell me it doesn't look a ton like this Goat Folk Ranger that we made. Am I right? Come on. They look so similar, it's not even funny. Like, I'm gonna put a screenshot of the Abomination. Again, this is for inspiration. We are not straight copying it. That's not even for like copyright concerns. That's for, I'm an artist and it's boring to just rip things. Tell me this is not so freaking similar. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna transform this Goat Ranger. I'm also just baffled that it just so happens to be another request from Aubrey. What do you know? The first thing we're going to do is load in this chain brush. I got this off of Bad King, which got yeeted off the internet, but there are free, chain brushes you can find online as well. Very cool. Does he have what? I'm not certain what you're asking and I'm too afraid to know the answer, so I'm going to consider this. I'm not asking. Alrighty. So first things first, we are going to have like these shorts of some sort, and we're really just going to try and transform this. So I'm kind of getting a plan here of what we're going to transform. We're not going to keep all the clothing, obviously. We're going to have a pretty loose-fitting short, and then chains and shackles. Reaper says, Mia, sometimes the rep requires no brain cells, then creating something new. This helps when I have no brain cells left to give. I get you. Yeah, even Aloha said, excuse me, Empress, that is foul. And I also was afraid. I have no idea what you're talking about. And that's okay. We don't need to elaborate. We're gonna move right on. Totally normal peasant community talk. What do people do for Labor Day? Mundane conversation. All right. He does not need a backpack. We're going to kind of simplify this model first, because he is not, in fact, going to be a goat climber. There we go. All right, so to make these little shorts, we're simply going to isolate his funny little goat legs and draw on some shorts. Make sure you're at the lowest subdiv, and then extract at 0 thickness. Less polys, less problems. There we go. Gremlin. Or is that from Scooby-Doo? Might be going insane, but I swear that was from the live action. Anyway. As a non-American, can somebody tell me what Labor Day is? We all have the day off to not work because it's something that happened in the past that I don't know. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have these shorts. We're going to use our move brush to fit them into place a touch better. And then we're also going to remove some of these like fluff pieces because he's going to be more on the bald side. We're going to detail stuff a little more quickly than usual because this is actually going to be... I might give him a tail, I'm not sure. Anyway, this is actually kind of skipping over the blockout phase because so much of the heavy lifting was done with this Goat Folk Ranger. I cannot believe this model is being reused because it's so niche and weird. Just a reminder to all my students, save everything you make. Even if you think it's too niche and you'll never need it again. Just trust me, you'll probably use it again. Especially if you have any interest in doing what I do, which is, you know, tabletop creatures and characters. There we go. So I added some subdivisions here, and now I'm using my move brush to kind of just like rip up the edges. I'm doing everything in symmetry right now, but once we kind of finalize the model, we will add some more asymmetrical details. Don't feel like you need to overthink any of this too much. If they're shorts, that means there needs to be a seam on there somehow. So I like to use my damn sander brush and just strike in some seams. If it looks too low poly, subdivide. It really can be that simple. Obviously, there's always a fancier way to do things. And depending on the model, let's say if somehow these shorts were magical shorts and they were really, really important to the character design for God knows why, then yeah, maybe I'd spend a little bit more time on them. I don't expect them to be super important, so I'm not gonna go crazy about it. What is going to be important though is this like hunched back that he has, and then really just the musculature and overall creepiness. So I'll spend a lot more time on that. And obviously if you're doing this as a hobby, I mean, you got all the time in the world. Do whatever you want. Just make sure it's fun. All right, last but not least, we're gonna add a little bit of wear and tear. I love using this alpha really quick. Sweet. Hey Foxy, welcome in. Empress says, I was just thinking earlier today, how often are people even sculpting from scratch in studio? That can't be terribly efficient in time and money and resources. Yeah, it's not super often, and that's really more like a senior artist job too. Just Single says, that's me. I do as a hobby. I take a lot of time. Good. Enjoy it. We're gonna add some gnarly claws to do that. Just append a sphere, stretch that sphere, and then bend arc. You can taper it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But if you are going to taper it, make sure you taper before you curve. I think I do want it to be a little sharper today. Yeah, I like that. All right, we have a claw, just one. Just Lingual says, except I procrastinate and do everything in under an hour between several weeks. That too. Love me a good little self-roast. We're going to cut this nail in half, just so it's a little easier to put into place. And we don't need to worry about both sides. Just do one and then you can mirror and weld afterwards. Oops, that's not the move brush, that is the inflate brush. There we go. It always surprises me how much like adding claws changes the silhouette and really starts to give that monster look. There we go. It's a small detail, but when you're putting claws on like this, make sure that you change the size and the rotation for each one. Because obviously the pinky claw shouldn't be as big as the thumb claw. Little details, but those really matter. Gorgeous. Now that we have those, let's make them a bit darker for some contrast and then mirror and weld. What if they're a little longer? Yeah, like that. Cool. And then we're gonna go ahead and save this project too. This will be the Abomination. I don't know what to call it yet, but that's what I'm calling it temporarily for now. Oh, there's a high-res picture of it. Thank you. All right, so we got this like back fluff. I don't think I'm gonna want that. I just have it labeled back hair. There we go. All right, before I spend too much time working on the details, I do want to get this pose and some of this silhouette here, because look how much muscle we have around the neck and the shoulders. So to do that, I'm going to go to Transpose Master and move some things around. I'm also going to just triple check that everything is visible and then merge down like pieces. There we go. I had these split up right here because this was prep for Character Creator 4. There we go. All right, Z plugin, Transpose Master, T-Pose Mesh. This is also what I use to pose in ZBrush. It happens to work out really well if you want to change all of the forms really quickly too. Yeah, it's pretty good art. Just Lingual says, hear me out. Pinky and thumb claw, super long. All other claws, short. Truly an abomination. No. All right. Let's get this posed up. I'm gonna turn on symmetry, turn off perspective so everything is flat and there's no like camera skew. We're gonna rotate this and we're gonna pose from the bottom up. So to do that, I'm gonna use my mass lasso brush, and each time I'm gonna grab a section and then bend. It's important that you move your gizmo where that joint is actually bending. Otherwise, it looks really silly. If I try to bend that here, see, that doesn't make any sense. You don't want that. Versus if I move this where the joint actually is, it does make sense. It's also important that you're working in Transpose Master that you're not changing or deleting topology. Otherwise, it doesn't have like a reference point of where to put it back. All right, so I'm getting this really dramatic bend here in the feet. That's what I'm creating right now. So this currently is really upright and weird. So let's change that. First thing I'm gonna do is just stretch this forward. I'm gonna redo that mask. Stretch forward more. It's gonna end up being quite flat with the ground actually. Notice I am not paying attention to the rest of the model and I'm not concerned about it. We're not there yet. I think that's another reason why my students get really confused when they're posing models, because they're like, this looks ridiculous. I'm like, yes, yes it does. Don't worry about it. It's all part of the process. I'll grab my move brush and do a little bit of fine tuning here. We don't want this getting too flat right here because there is supposed to be a joint. There we go. I'm also going to grab the heels of the hocks here and kind of push them so they're a little farther out. Rotating the feet just a touch will also give some of that like wider stacked appearance. Yeah, Empress, trim the middle and pointer finger claws for reasons. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyway. Oh my gosh. All right, I like this. Let's keep on working. We're gonna make the top part of him a little bit larger, and this is where we're gonna start building that like hunched back. So I'm literally just gonna like rotate him forward at his hips, and then I'm gonna grab my move brush and just add all that volume I was talking about. We'll need to move the arms down. I'm actually gonna flare them out a little bit. So see where I'm rotating here? So it's kind of like you're flexing, you know, like you kind of like puff out your shoulders. You can't tell because I'm small and wearing black, but yes, look at bodybuilders. There we go. I like that the shoulders are kind of pulled back a little bit, and now we're going to rotate this elbow here to kind of like dangle and look a little more balanced. Very good. And again, we're just concerned about proportions here. I'm not really too pressed about any details. He still is a bit forward heavy, but we are getting more of that dramatic shape I was hoping for. There we go. Oh, that's creepy and really cool. I actually really like that. Probably just because the execution's really good. Curse. I kind of like it. Emperor says, Mia, when you said more volume in the back, is that what you meant with the dog feedback? Yes. Exactly. All right, so when you're adding like more volume, giving more like a bulked out look, you don't want to grab like this entire area and just inflate it, because that's not how the muscles actually look. Don't forget what is actually there. So you have your deltoid right here, and then you have your bicep that kind of sits in the front like a football, but doesn't extend to this under area. That stays pretty much flat. In fact, I like to mask where it's not supposed to move and then pull the bicep forward around that. There we go. And then same with here. You don't just do this. That doesn't make any sense. Go to the back here where the tricep is, and then you can add volume to that. It's a monster, so you can get pretty ridiculous with it in this case, but I find that if it actually looks convincing or possible, it does make it look better. I kind of struggle with forearm muscles. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, so I kind of just add some width to it and hope for the best. I know there's a muscle right here. I know that's one, but there's, I don't know. It feels more complicated than that. There we go. Hello, monkey. Welcome in. Greetings, greetings. He's still a little bit top heavy here. And I think I'm done refining the proportions for the most part. So let's go ahead and get him a little more balanced. We're gonna scoot his hips back a touch and then round his back even more. Kind of like this. And then we'll take his arms and kind of droop them forward. There we go. I like it. All right. That's been improved immensely. Let's go back to T-pose, sub-T, so everything's going to apply really quickly here. And now I can kind of refine these shapes even further. Emperor says, seeing this, I really hope to know a creature / character in a few weeks' time. I don't want to actually get trapped making small things forever. You know, the trap there is that making big things is just making a lot of small things. Just saying. All right, let's go ahead and split the horns into their own piece. And then kind of rotate these back. I'm trying to think of now, like, how do I want to change this design and make it a little more unique to me in the way that I like to do things. I think I might add a couple sets of horns. Just thinking about it. I'm just thinking about it. Oh no, the ears got kind of screwed up at one point. That's okay. I kind of like it. I'll just add some volume there and make it look intentional. My favorite. All right, we do need to work on this face here. He doesn't look very scary, does he? We're gonna move this cheekbone down. Kind of make him look a little more dog-like. Maybe I want to open up his mouth. I do like that mine looks more goat-like. And he does need to have the same scars as the human counterpart to kind of tie them together. Looks like someone hit the goat folk guy with a rage spell. Yeah, he's berserker mode. Oh my god, yeah, like anything that looks kind of like this, that's kind of what I'm thinking about making essentially. Something along those lines. Okay, we are going to split this jaw. So I'm going to mask this area, split mask points. And we're going to isolate these really quick. I'm going to mask just that little edge. Again, polish by features to smooth that up. See how it's like really jagged and dumb looking? I'm going to smooth it up so when I do click close holes, it kind of does a better job. I'm also going to change my color palette here to a richer red. So when I close holes, it kind of just auto paints for me. There we go. Same deal with this. We're gonna polish by features and then close holes. I will need to kind of massage this a little bit to add some volume back. There we go. Now let's drop that jaw. And I'm gonna look at what paint added, even though I don't think they were intending for this. I'm like, I actually like that. Careful, you inspired me. We're going to actually use our curved tube here. I think if you had like this lolling tongue, that'd be cool. We'll go to picker, change it from once Z to continuous Z. Something kind of like that. Split mask points. There we go. And he needs teeth desperately. This toothbrush is from Flip Normals. And we'll go with just jagged teeth. I'll go with kind of like a yellowy color. And paints it 100% what I meant. Okay, in that case, good job. Same brain cell. Hey, Sean's is here. Sean's made it. I like it. Good. I'm glad you had some time to stop by. I was hoping you would. Kind of just throwing teeth on there. They're not really a size order that made sense, but again, I want this to be kind of like an abomination, so I wasn't too pressed about it being perfect. Before I add the teeth on the bottom, I am going to run a small mask around here, kind of to act as the gum line. We're going to just grab my gizmo and just move that out, and then I'll inset the teeth on top of this. There we go. And these are individual meshes, so what that means is I can really easily edit them using my move topological brush. So you mean like I can grab just this tooth chunk or just this tooth chunk over here. There we go. Black Gloves is back. Welcome back. Toothbrush for sculpting. What the fuck? I thought it sounded weird. I couldn't figure out why. But it is in fact a brush of teeth. Toothbrush. Alright, we're starting to look a little bit more like our reference here. I'd love to see it. Alright, right now I'm looking at the feet. Mine are just kind of like normal hooves, but I like that this has 3 toes. And what we have, because they're cloven, is actually somewhat close. Let's go ahead and duplicate these. I'm going to grab just one of them, and we'll split it down the middle. There we go. I'll delete hidden, and we'll kind of piece this together. Stop spinning. Kind of like a dew claw of sorts. Yeah. There we go. Now I'm gonna use move topological, turn symmetry back on, and we're gonna kind of use, I don't know, monster horse hoof feet here. There we go. We're also gonna add a little bit more volume to these claws because more. There we go. All right, we need to change the color scheme a touch here because this like very pale skin is kind of creeping me out. You know what, maybe I don't mind it. Maybe instead we're gonna fuse this with kind of a more warm charcoal color. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna do that. I like to block things out in just like two-tone color schemes. Keep things really simple, and then I add more colors only when absolutely necessary. So I'm changing the color of the shorts, obviously, so they don't just blend in. They need some ornaments, like necklace, something more savage. So that's not, well, you know Abomination. He doesn't really have a lot of decorations. He's got those shackles, because he was all chained up. He doesn't really have, like, he's not really an accessory guy, you know? Though you're right, I am seeing kind of like a medallion on Abomination, the human form, with a lot of like locking keys. But you're right, I need to not forget about the chains. We're going to change our paintbrush from dots to drag rectangles so I can kind of start getting these blends. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, collar shackle. I agree. I'll have to de-fluff his neck a little bit. Why is the paintbrush not working at all? Ah, because I didn't have the paintbrush selected. That'll do it. We're gonna use back face mask when I use my paintbrush here, and you'll see that it kind of does this like ambient occlusion effect. Pretty nifty. I also don't want to lose the teeth, so what I'm going to do is click on Auto Groups, Mirror and Weld. Where the heck are my teeth? Oh, there. I was like, hey. Alright, Auto Groups, Mirror and Weld, just make sure the groups are the same. And then I can paint the teeth all at once because they are their own mesh. Same thing, Auto Groups, Mirror and Weld. Double click on the piece I don't want, and I can fill poly paint on what's left. I think this tongue just needs more detail. We're gonna make it a little more fan-like. Then use Dam Standard to kind of add some texture. And if you're like, what? Your Dam Standard brush is so fun. Yeah, just because I have this alpha on here, which is a default in ZBrush. If you're playing with your brushes and you can't figure out how to get them back to normal, just click B for your brush palette and then reset all brushes. But whatever you do, don't stop experimenting with your brushes. Always try new things, new alphas, different stroke pattern. Like, trust me, it is a huge reason why I improved the way that I did. What is with Empress today? For his appearance, yes. All right, we are going to smooth down the fluff right here. I'm actually going to delete the higher subdiv and then polish by feature. So we're going to just go totally smooth. Because instead of being like fuzzy, I do want it to be more like stretched skin. How in the world do I put muscles on this? I don't know. We're going to Dynamesh it, subdivide a few times. I'm thinking like I can add these muscles here. He's just so hunched over, that's kind of hard to figure out where the hell they're supposed to go. I don't want to cover up his weird stretchy pecs because those look cool. I'm going to change my Dam Standard brush back to the way that it was, which is this alpha. And all that does is just makes so it acts on a single point. There we go. And then we'll kind of figure out roughly where those muscles go. The important part is, like I see this all the time, like these muscles right here, people put them parallel to each other. No, they connect at the very top of your collarbone. So it's like a V. Don't put them straight up and down. On people that are really muscular, it kind of looks like that, but their collarbone is still in the same spot. So make sure they do taper slightly. Because even on monsters, you want stuff to make sense. Don't get lost in the details of like, okay, is this monster perfectly possible? Like, just make cool shit, but be intentional about it. Do you need me to time out Empress? No, Empress is okay. Oh man. What is this? Oh. I'm surprised they didn't spook me more. I'm usually very skittish. Reason like 165 why I can't play horror games. Which is unfortunate because I'm really interested in the new Resident Evil game, and I usually don't give a shit about Resident Evil, but I don't know, something about the Requiem trailers, I'm like, that looks pretty cool. That looks like a good time. This has changed a lot since we started. I like it. I want the horns to be more interesting and more dramatic. So I'm gonna kind of add a bit more of a curve here. Thinking a little more Diablo-esque. Yeah. Let's move those abdominal muscles up because they're getting a little stretchy and a little weird. He doesn't need to have a nice six-pack, but their muscles do need to roughly be in the right spot. There we are. Excellent. All right, let's do a little touch up on his back. Oh, what a shoulder. Clavicle. No, whatever the fuck. Shoulder blade. What do you look like? I don't remember right now. I need a picture of a back muscle. I encourage y'all to do this. You don't know what anything looks like, and that's cool. Grab a reference. Always. Here we go. I always remember what these look like. Traps. What the fuck is that? Okay, those look really weird on him. So I'm not going to use user reference because that's odd. There we go. The way if that person saw me say that, I would just crumble and feel so bad. I just mean like for what I'm doing. It's too unique. All right. Here. Oh, their traps are so big. That's kind of confusing. This is just so much more bubbly than I was expecting. Okay. I'm going to draw more emphasis just on their traps. And then I'm going to kind of leave the lats alone. And granted, this shape looks a lot different when your arm is down versus if it's at a 90. So keep that in mind too. Oh, that's cool. If I did kind of a before and after. Ooh, that's kind of helpful because then I can kind of pick a middle ground for my goat man here. Thanks, fitness YouTuber. All right. Because right now my before looks a little bit like this, right? Huh, I never thought of that being helpful to do, of grabbing like images of people before and after, like their own fitness transformation to kind of help you out when you're blocking that out. Tentative good tip. We'll see if I end up liking it. But yeah, tentative good tip. Yeah, I can see that this became a lot more pronounced. So this top part here where your collarbone connects to the top of your shoulder is like called the acromion or whatever. I almost said the other, what's that, necromancy book. Anyway, not that. I can kind of see it touches here. So go ahead and use my standard brush and kind of mark a little blob there. I'm being a little extreme just so I can map this out. And I see that kind of connects there. Oh, and that frames the trap. So I'm seeing the end of the trapezius muscle. Oh, how cool. Okay, that makes more sense. I'll use my layer brush to kind of connect the rest of this here. And also, because I'm going to kind of cheat and use my layer brush to make like muscle striation details for me. Yeah. Paint asks, am I banned? No, since I'm seeing your comment, but that makes me suspicious. Why, are you doing anything bannable? The way your back muscles at the bottom here just kind of like mumble away. Here we go. By the way, what is this called? That is your shoulder blade. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 51% sure. So the only way that I do a good job with like back muscles at the bottom here is I can just see like this is like, I call this like top butt. It's not. It's just like the top of your hips, what will muffin top out. I'm familiar with that because I have that. So I'm able to keep that there and then kind of build the muscle on top and around it. There we go. It looks really weird, but that texture, I think it's kind of neat and very paintable. So Aloha, you know how we like the smooth concrete brush? The layer brush is kind of cool too. You can kind of get a lot of that interesting texture baked in. You might want to reduce the focal shift because by default it's to -100, which is a little obnoxious. So maybe you want to kind of tone that down. But just a pro tip for when you start working on your, you're already working on your next collection, that might be a good texture for you. Cool, that was fun. When Delia says Carl Weezer voice, my scapula. Yes. That's actually a really good reference. Yeah. Yeah. I'm mostly going to look at this for... Oh, why have I never seen this like that before? Okay, so I understand the bicep and the tricep, like, half the days out of the week. This, your forearm, kind of just looks like the top. Like, if you look at your bicep and tricep from the side, so like from this side, if you're really buff, there's like a line right here where they touch. And that's kind of what your forearm looks like. Okay. I never connected it like that before. So yeah, there's a line right here. And then, oh my goodness, I don't know why this is clicking all at once for me. There's a volume here and a volume here. Duh, that totally looks, this section looks like this section, which is really funny because I actually don't have that line on here like I normally do. There we go, see? This kind of looks like this. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, I've seen this stupid picture and I call it stupid because it doesn't always help me. I just don't get it sometimes. Arms are just, the fuck. I'd be fine with arms if they didn't move so much. But the rotating and twisting it's too much. Paint says, you told me to get this book, Mia. I know. And I recommend it. It's great. Hey Duke, welcome in. First thing I hear when I come in is you talking about muffin butt. Today is going to be a great day. Yep, welcome in. Even in context, I know some of the things that I say are ridiculous, but I think it helps to break things down into like relatable terms. I don't know, like the most complicated terms I use on stream are like bicep, tricep, which are not that, everyone's heard that. But I try to get away from, I know there's a real name for this muscle right here, but like nobody knows. But if I call it like top, like muffin butt, like you guys will remember it. Speaking of, if you mask that and then inflate, that also looks quite good. Yeah, let's add some more definition there. And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with learning the real names for things, obviously. I don't know, I don't remember them, so. If you remember them, good for you. But for the rest of us, yeah, we got muffin butt. Also, Mia, are we cakeifying the Abomination? No, he has shorts on. Why do you guys want a butt on everything? Love handles. Yeah. Fish. Oh, Christ. Okay, this is helpful. I like examples like this because they have these flat sections here. And you guys see me do this all the time when I'm like, what the fuck is happening? I'll go in with my trim dynamic brush and start like chopping these planes out. And the reason why you do this is like, yeah, you're simplifying the form, but the big thing is you end up with these like little intersection points and you can grab that with your move brush and move that around. And so the whole plane becomes really easy to manipulate. Again, less polys, less problems. Hey, hey monkey. The muffin butt is connected to the turkey leg. Yep. Taverb anatomy. Aloha says, guess this one looks better. Still weird though. Arm's weird. The back can rotate around a bit to the front, which is where it can get really hard to see. But again, what I said earlier, which might help some of y'all that are in the same journey that I am, the line here, which I was talking about, so this purple one is your bicep, and the yellow section is, okay, it's more than just your tricep, but like this top part, that's your tricep. Anyway, when they combine together and you get really buff, there ends up being a little crease right here. Right here. And it's similar to the crease you see here on your forearm between this blue section and this green section, which is right here. So I'm saying is this line reminds me a lot of this line, which helps me a lot because, I don't know, forearms, not a strong point for me. Hey Jared, welcome in. The what is connected to the what? What is going on? Man, that has been the theme of the stream today. Word. Sean's, can I put the muffin butt turkey leg comment in Taverb quotes? Yeah. Yes, you can. Oh my god. And then Lois says, this looks much better. It looks awesome. Thank you. You know I suck at sculpting arms, so I appreciate that. Monkey says, I am Monkey, and I approve of this message. Amazing. Alright, I need to add shackles. I kind of got a little lost in the sauce of like, ooh, weird lumpy muscles, and that was fun. But for the most part, big shapes then small shapes. And I'm missing the shackles I'm going to be adding, so I want to do that. To do that, we're going to use this ring, and we're going to make it obviously a metal color. When you're picking a metal color, you can't just go to like straight desaturated gray. I like to go to a dark blue and then go to this area right here. It's technically blue versus like this. So I'm not changing the value, I'm just changing the hue. And look how different, you know. This reads kind of metally. This looks like a dingy, I don't know. If you want grays, go blue. Okay, we're gonna ZBrush by half a few times and simplify it up. We are coming to the end of Tavern Keeper's Craft number 1. Reminder that today is 2 for Tuesday. So we'll be creating the human counterpart in the second section of the day. All right, we got shackle number 1. Still looking a little too rounded, so I'm gonna ZBrush in half by one more time. Again. There we go. There we go. That's nice. Perfect. We're gonna go mirror and weld, and I really like the idea of having a neck shackle as well. So we're gonna duplicate this, auto groups, grab just one of them, and throw that in the center. That's also why I removed his like neck fluff, because I want this to be visible. I'll change the design or his like musculature as much as needed to make this element clear. Yeah, there we go. Grays are so weird in painting. To warm it reads bronze, too cold, and it reads silver or steel. Exactly. So, Paint, have you been able to do much painting recently? I miss seeing your painting updates. But I know that, you know, life busy. Maybe this winter you'll have a little bit more time. All right, I got this neck shackle thing. There we go. I want it kind of like hanging a little bit. I think this shape looks a little stupid. Ah, it's because it does. I'm just gonna scoot this over the center line and then mirror and weld. That's my really janky fix to fixing anything weird in the center line. I just turn off symmetry, scoot it over, and mirror and weld. It's like, yeah, that's a terrible fix. Then don't use it. It works for me. There we go. Paint says, I forgot to get a picture of a commission I got. Bruh, you've been depriving us. I'm painting a friend's Marvel X-Men team all in original X-Men comic colors. I'm so glad I asked. That's so fucking cool. Pictures win. Aloha says, if you want to connect to the body more so you don't have to have a floating chain, you could have some nails that were hammered into the skin to also chain into place, Mia. Very grim dark. I like. Yeah. Yeah. Duke says, Mia, might want to roll the next jackal forward. Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking, to have it like hang more like this. Yeah. Gravity. Doing gravity things. If I do it like this, I can mirror and weld across the Z. I'm sorry, Y. What the fuck? With local turned on? Here we go. Just to make sure this is the right shape. I kind of like this little dent that it added. I'm gonna keep it. Make that a little smaller. All right, cool. Make it a little thinner. Let's add some chains. The cool thing is when you're adding chains before you hit pose, you don't have to get too pressed about how they fit. You can just do good enough because you're gonna have to move that shit once it's posed anyway. All right, let's go with the jewelry chain. Just joking. I like the spiked chain for this. And then I need to scroll up really quick to see Aloha's reference. Okay, yeah, so it's like a center and 2 pieces. Okay. If you want your curve brush here to not be random lines and be totally straight, click, hold down Shift, and drag a straight line, and then it'll be straight. There you go. And if you're like, I can just draw a straight line, good for you. But for the rest of us, helpful tip. I also like some asymmetry. So this one connects exactly. Kind of want these to look a little more janky than that. You'll notice that I'm inflating this quite a lot, and that's because everything I designed is to be 3D printed. Okay, split mask points. And yeah, I think it'd be cool if like one of these connected here and the other one's higher. All right, see this nonsense? How the curve brush is like sticking to him? That's normal. You can really modify your curve brushes a lot. So go up here to picker, and it's continuous Z, which means that as it travels in space, it's looking to whatever the next thing it hits on the Z axis, and it's grabbing onto it. So just say 1Z instead, which means it's gonna grab this point here, and then it's not gonna even care what's happening behind it, and it'll go straight up. There you go. Paint says, oh no, it's a quote. Hold it down and it'll be straight. M3DM. Oh, God, no. Context with that one. Aloha says, Mia, also, how would you personally do a ripped skin look if you want to show muscle underneath? I will show you in just a second. And if I forget, let me know, and I'll do it. Oh, here we go. Oh, hell yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. Fucking cool. It's done, but I didn't take a picture of it. Bruh. Sad. All right, let's make this a bit larger. Inflate. And again, I just could not be bothered to make this fit perfectly because we're gonna have to move all of this once it's posed. Get that roughly into place. Doesn't need to be perfect, but it can't be so wrong that it's distracting. You know what I mean? All right, we're gonna duplicate this and mirror. But again, I thought it'd be kind of cool if these were not symmetrical. So I'm gonna go to auto groups. I'm gonna delete a couple of these links here. And kind of just rotate the whole thing. Probably have it connect at a slightly higher spot. I just imagine that would be so uncomfortable and infuriating. Something I love about this chain brush too is that they're individual pieces, so you can just kind of grab them whenever you need to continue, kind of modify as needed. There we go, good enough. Does ZBrush have an apply gravity physics option? Yes. Yes. I'm gonna leave it at that. For if you're talking about this and the way like having simulating like metal, no. Paint says, by the way, auto groups is so nice to use. I should have used it at the beginning with the selecting tool. Super common. You know, when you're learning, there's so many new buttons and nonsense. It's okay if you keep it a little, you know, simpler. Nothing wrong with that. All right, all that is now one piece. Looking good. And I do think I want to have at least one shackle on the floor. Yeah, like a classic ball and chain. I don't want to forget about the nails and his skin too. And then we'll do the ripped skin demo. And that will bring us to the end of this first section. And we'll get started on the human counterpart. Very successful initial Tavern Keeper's craft. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you're enjoying the stream, please give it a like. It really helps. If you're not enjoying the stream, odd that you're still here, but that's cool. Some people like doing things they don't like. It's fine. All right. The top of his shorts are so boring too. Kind of want to do something better with that. Let me see if I can just run a mask over this and kind of toy with a larger shape. Yeah, just something. It's a little more interesting. Jared asked, Mia, how do I get muscles? Like this? Not the person to be asking. Duke says, it's uncomfortably for my OCD. As someone that's usually very coherent, I have to make fun of you, and that made no fucking sense. Paint says, Mia, should the chain be attached lower because of constricting movements? Arm chains to main chains. How many times have I told you guys that we shouldn't care because we're going to pose this and none of this is going to matter? These are just placeholders. Stop it. Alright, where are those? I need some nails. We are going to grab a cylinder. To make fun of my peasants, because y'all definitely have selective hearing sometimes. Alright, that'll be the top of the nail head. And then the bottom. I guess we could also do a cylinder and then taper it. That's not a cylinder, that's a cube. Jared said, she's just being modest. Mia's ripped. Not yet. Alright, let's taper this. If you're like, that's an absurdly chunky nail, you're right. It'll be absurdly 3D printable. There we go. I do think this looks a little funny. Let's make it kind of look a little chipped. Go clay polish just a few times. Hopefully they'll put a nice border on it. Ooh, it did. Good job. That's what I wanted. There we go. That's kind of rusty. Nice. That looks horribly uncomfortable. Good. That was the point. Ah, the fuck. Oh, yeah, so when you use clay polish, it does also apply a mask to it. So make sure that you hold up Command, that's Control on Windows, and click and drag, and it'll clear that mask. So then you can move it around. Sean says, Mia, it's not yet ripped? Oh my god, not yet. Probably not ever, but yeah. Maniac says, hey, hello, hello. You redo the chains after posing, right? Or do you massage the ones already in place? Redoing seemed easier. Redoing is way fucking easier. Even the way you put it, I thought was so funny. Massage. And it's true, it's what it feels like. And don't massage hard surface elements. Don't take that out of context. Anyway, metal, stuff like that. You don't want to start, bending it because it'll stop looking like metal. It looks all smushy. Imagine Mia has farmer strength because of horse stuff. You damn right. Her muscles are still loading. Still loading. You guys are just trying to get me to flex on stream again to see the update, but I'm not going to. I was doing that too often. Not that kind of stream. All right, we're gonna duplicate one of these nails off to the side. Just so it's there, I can kind of grab it as I need more. All right, we're gonna mirror and weld, because I think it'd be cool to have these kind of stabbing into his neck as well. Gross. Cool, cool. Big shout out to Aloha for being a pain in the ass, but also being a good mod and even better art recommendations. In that order. Duplicate. And then we're gonna add some nails that aren't perfectly symmetrical. Maybe some that are a bit smaller. There we go. Anti-bite color. I didn't think about that. That makes more sense. So if you guys aren't familiar, it's somewhat common, not really, but it can be, to have like their anti-bite collars on really any like guardian livestock dog. So like Maramas, Pyrenees, sheepdogs, the big white fluffy ones. And they'll put these collars on so that you get in a fight with like, not really wolves, but like coyotes. If they go for their throat, which is normal instinct, they'll instead get impaled. So it does make the dogs look metal as hell. Can you guys find a picture of that actually on a dog? In this case, it's not an anti-bite collar. It is just, this poor thing is tortured. All right, let's put these on the top as well. That's not what I wanted. That's okay. Let's just mask it and scoot it on up. Thank you. Kind of. That's more like a fashion accessory. Kind of. I mean, who says the farm dogs can't be fashionable? More fashion versions. Damn it, guys, you guys are finding like cute versions. No, like anti-bite collar, guardian, livestock, dog. Come on, Google. There we go. They look metal as hell. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, this is weird, I guess. I have not seen that before. Yeah, there we go. Stuff like this. Can you imagine? It's like, he doesn't bite. It's like, but he might accidentally impale you. Pretty cool. All right. Good start here. Made a ton of progress. Let's do the little rip skin demo for Aloha. All right. So if you want to like dig a hole out in your model, go to your mask pen brush. Make sure symmetry is not turned on because you probably don't want to have scars or tissue, you know, on the same, perfectly symmetrical. Find the way the muscle is curving, so it's kind of going this direction. And just keep that in mind when you're kind of finding this shape here. I recommend cleaning it up by inverting your mask, and then it should kind of taper more towards the top and then open up. It's very unusual. I highly doubt it'd be like a square. Think ellipse or diamond. Once you have that, take your move brush and just punch it straight down. Now invert the mask, kind of smooth the edges a little bit, and then I like to take the damp sander brush and actually hold down Alt and build up this kind of like lip here. And then you can pull it over a touch. And if you want to get more of like that, you know, ripped skin look, just just be really careful with your move brush and start pulling sections across. If it's for 3D printing, you kind of want these to be on the chunkier side. Oh, and then you want to poly paint what's left. There we go. You want the center to be an even darker red. Actually, no, probably the edges. I don't know. Dark color. And then from under here, you can really kind of show the striations underneath, which I like to really exaggerate because they're fun to paint. There you go. Or you can just cheat in an easy way. Grab like a curves, like cuts and scars brush, and which that works too. Is there one that looks more like the one I just did? Not really. It's kind of just this one. I didn't keep the skin flap. That's kind of a fun way to do that too. I like how this one actually continues those lines a little bit more. Yeah, that was cooler. What if there was like a crease across it too? That was kind of neat. There you go. Hole in his arm. Empress says, I might not have been here for the student check-ins if they happen, but just know y'all, Mia's teachings have really awakened me. For the first time, I realized I'm coming to the power of being an artist. They really are, and just, we haven't done happy hour yet. We actually might not even do it today, because we got 2 Tavern Keepers craft. Oop, my bad. But what's cool is this right here, what Empress is working on. So they saw something they liked online, and they were able to like, hey, I can do the block out of that. And it's cool seeing the sketch here, and they sketched it in 3D. It's very, very cool. Like, this is a big deal, being able to see something and recreate what it is, not what you think you see. So I'm very proud of you. Good job. Paint says same. Oh, I'm so proud of you guys. And specifically Paint, I saw what you shared here. I think it was in Share Your Art. No, maybe it's student artwork. Yeah. The way that you're blocking out hair here is awesome. So you're going for much more of like an anime stylized approach, but you're seeing things as hair clumps as opposed to individual hair strands, which is great. Maybe a little high poly here. I don't know. If you keep refining this technique, it's gonna be pretty bitchin'. It's gonna look really good. Just keep cooking. You haven't even sculpted hair more than, I think, 3 times total. So like, this is fantastic. You're so early on. You're already kind of developing styles that you like and what's fun for you, which couldn't be more proud. It's actually a pretty natural ad, isn't it? But yeah, I do one-on-one mentorship. Is that spelled right? No, I said learn. Learn. There we go. There's a link in the chat right now to my Patreon where I teach. It's $1 a day. It's one-on-one instruction. And if you're like, wait, what about this? What about this? All you need to worry about is having a good attitude and a copy of ZBrush. But come learn, it's a good time. It's canon. Aloha's taking notes on the kink. What? Oh my god. Wait, this GIF was for the stream, not the unholy shit above. That's rich coming from you, Aloha. And if you're a student, you can join our Discord. Just kidding, Discord is free. If you want to hang out with us, feel free to. There's a Discord invite. Oh my god. Paint says, go and be bitchin'. Damn, okay, that made me smile. Oh, good. I mean it too. Paint says, Mia, I did do some more work on after that photo, but I 100% agree. It's awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I like that I'm starting to kind of create something that's more of my own here. I think it's a little too similar to the reference still in some ways. I'm gonna do a little bit of color spray, see if I can get some fun variation. Yeah, some kind of more like greenish. It just needs some shaping, needs some texture. thinking. Like, what's that wow factor? On this, I love it has a hyena-like mane. I do think like a gnarly bite. Like, that's interesting. It's cool to have details like that. But it's not like a component. I guess a component for here, it's going to be this chain. The fact that I have it connected in this collar. Yeah, I can lean into that, especially the pose. I'll do a pose where he's grabbing the collar for sure and trying to pull it off. Love that. In that case, I might as well create the ball. Perfectly smooth, looks weird. Few things look that perfect, so I like to kind of come through here with my trim dynamic brush and kind of dent it up a bit, and then smooth. Back to the chain brush. And then for this, I actually will want to go to continuous C. And not pitch black, please. There we go. And again, this is all just gonna get moved anyway, but still want it there for the concept. Sick. Let's go ahead and mirror this so everything fits a bit better. Yeah. Center this, rotate, and then delete one of these rocks because it's in the way. Oh, that's cool. Reminds me of the man catchers. Ugh, oh, horrible sentiment. Awesome, that is cool. Jared says, how's Tennessee, Mia? Gonna be sort of in your neck of the woods and in September in North Carolina. Oh, how nice! It's sunning. I'm glad they're coming back for fall again to see the color change. It's already barely starting. I don't know, the weather's nice, so yeah. It's been fantastic though. Finally spent a lot more time outside, doing things I want. It's a good time. All right, let's get a fun render on here. We'll take a small break, we'll come back, and then we'll sculpt the man. I like to go to Merge Visible, turn on Perspective, and then we'll create 2 copies here to get a fun little splash page render. This isn't like actual fancy rendering. We use Blender for that now, but just to get something nice. I like to have the one on the left a bit larger, and the one on the right more of a plain, like, okay, this is what the model looks like. Sometimes I do a front and a back if there's interest on the model. Maybe not that interesting on the back. There we go. And then comma for lightbox, click on render set. And there's a couple that I always like to go to. It's usually radial overlay or preview AO, but the material ID colors I use sometimes too. All right. Cool. A little bit of lighting goes a long way. All right, it is screenshot time. Smile. Throw that into our Discord for posterity's sake. Wha-bam. All right, awesome. This has been a super good time. We still have another entire model we're gonna make, so stay tuned. I'm gonna take a break here, grab a snack. I encourage you to do the same. We'll come back, we'll do all of Tavern Keeper's Craft again, and that'll be a wrap for the stream. We're an hour and a half in, got plenty of shenanigans to go. What else? I think that's it. All right, I'll see you guys in about 5-10 minutes. Hi y'all, I'm back. Welcome to the Tavern Keeper's Craft. Again. So now we're going to sculpt the counterpart to the Abomination. The Abomination again. But no, seriously, it's going to be a human. Tortured human man. There we go. I probably don't need to take the screenshot of the version that has the super long chain. Did you guys get a drink or a snack on the break? I ate Cheez-Its and stood out my front porch and ate them and watched cars drive by. That's one thing I love in Tennessee. Everybody waves at everybody. Took me a while to get used to, especially out in the country. But I used to be like, why are they looking at me? Because it's just, I don't know, I grew up very Californian. Very mind your own, but in like a really rude way. It's hard to elaborate, but anyway, different culture. But I'm out there just standing in my sweatpants, my t-shirt, eating Cheez-Its, waving to people that drive by. I mean, I recognize half the cars, there's not that many people out here, but it cracks me up. Jared said, I ate some cashews. That sounds good. Maybe I'll have some cashews. I have a whole can of them sitting over there. All right, we're gonna save this. And now, again, we're working on this dude, of which I have another model I think I can kind of transform him from. I think there's similar vibes here, so I'm gonna use this guy. No, it's not Withers. But the skin texture here I like. He's a little too skinny, and I don't know what his legs look like under here. Totally untouched. Okay, we'll need to fix that. It's got like Barbie legs under here. Anyway. All right, and we continue. It has been such a fun stream. Really lively. It's fun to see a lot of old faces kind of come back and around. No, not Withers. Oh man. All right, so he's not gonna have the staff. I like the toga wrap. We are gonna replace this entirely though with those same shorts or similar shorts as the Abomination. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this. We'll call this Human Abomination. I need to come up with names for these. And I'm gonna put them in the same ZPR for right now. I'm gonna grab these shorts, which are obviously gonna be way too big, but it would be neat if I could just kind of throw them on there. Because again, this is supposed to be the same character. This wrap also doesn't make any sense. And then as far as all of this nonsense, I kind of like it. So I think I'm going to keep it. Pain when Z-remeshing doesn't say poly paint. It does not. Duplicate a copy and then project poly paint back on. There you go. So you'll go to geometry. Is it geometry? I don't fucking remember. Nope, subtool. Subtool, project, and then make sure geometry is not enabled, but color is enabled, and then project all. And there you go. You got your poly paint back. Oh, thank you, Reaper. Reaper is shilling for me. Yeah, the Taverb menu is open today, so super chats, other than a big thank you, they actually get you stuff, which is not the case every day. Taverb menu's probably only open, I'd say once or twice a week. I only put it up there when I'm feeling up to it. If you're interested in what is for sale, Reaper has so graciously put it in the chat for you. Alright. Let's work on this. First thing first is he needs hair of some sort. I'm thinking of that half hairdo thing I did mohawk for our, it was our half-elf barbarian. It was like Mad Max styled. I'm looking for it. It was kind of a weird hairstyle, so it'll probably be kind of hard to recognize in here. I know I would have saved it though. I don't see it. I haven't updated this in a hot minute, So it's possible it's just in my downloads folder. Let me grab that. This is true. I guess you could technically also ban mods for $1. That one is not stackable. Actually, it is stackable as long as you don't ban both mods. Alright. Where are it's our hairstyle? Oh, it's a full plate armor. I'm gonna say, I'm like, it's a lot of armor in here. Here we go. Hair, ponytail, getting closer. Let me just type in hair underscore and search that on my computer, and this should make my life easier. It didn't. There we go. There we go. Mohawk edgy. Heck yeah. I freaking love this hairstyle. We're going to lower the subdiv here and start to modify his ears. I'm going to use my mask lasso brush to kind of contain his head so I can just focus on the ears here and make them a bit more animal shaped. Give him a larger nose, a bit more pronounced, and then maybe I'll open his eyes. No eyebrows though. Very emo. Yeah, I love it. Oh, goodness. Those are some shorts. Let's fix that. All right, and then I had this for a mummy, so it's super emaciated. We're actually going to unemaciate it, which is not something I frequently do, but it is something I'm capable of. Luckily, I got muscles and a brush. There you go. That's a totally weird placement. Let's fix that. I'm gonna smooth this out a little bit here by using clay without poly paint turned on. There we go. And now we'll throw that on here. Confusingly, I think I'm gonna add this rib detail too, which is confusing because you definitely wouldn't have both. It's my rules. Really cool. Just kind of want monstrous. Yeah, it's like weirdly stuck out too. I like it. And then we'll keep this kind of scratchy texture throughout the model. All right, these like Barbie legs we need to fix. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is add volume where there's supposed to be volume. So we're going to unemaciate him. I'm gonna use my standard brush here to kind of use as a guideline of where the volume is supposed to go. So we have our quad muscle here. There's another one there. I'm gonna use move and backface mask to really quickly round out these forms. Remember, it's kind of like from the butt to your like knee pit, what do you call this? Is straight, but the front of the quad is curvy. And then it's the reverse for your shin, straight, curvy. So if you look at it, kind of like this big S curve, like that. So again, straight, curve, straight, curve. There's a lot of lines like that all over the body that kind of have this flow to them, which is, for me, a lot easier to remember than all the different muscle groups and, I don't know. It's just as technical, but it feels a little more approachable for me. And the booty goes back out again. Yes. It says sine wave. I first read that as sin wave, which is also really funny. I'm probably gonna go back to the Abomination and add a lot of these, this kind of like scratchy, papery skin. It's got that weird tall butt posture. There you go. Less weird. Excellent. And then I wonder if I can just grab these chains here and just add them. Obviously they're not going to fit, but it'd be cool if I could try to keep these the same size as much as possible. That would be really cool. All right, here's that same contraption. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, that could be pretty cool. We definitely need to add some wear and tear to these metal pieces because when they're perfectly smooth like this, they do look kind of weird. Smooth that on up. There we go. I'm gonna thin this out just a little bit. Again, I want to have them look as similar as possible for like the continuity, but I do want the design to read well and make sense still too. This is much closer to fitting than I expected. Heck yeah. All right, I'm gonna block out these muscles here and then I'll make them larger once I have these lines kind of figured out. So again, there's that line right here in between the bicep and the tricep. Making sure you don't add a bunch of volume on the bottom here because that's just not how they're shaped. And then I now have kind of learned there's a new line right here that you can then kind of round these out. Just be careful not to obscure the, I don't know what they call this. Like armpit, we got one pit. We didn't name this. We didn't name the one behind your knees. I need names for them. I think I've heard people call it a knee ditch before. His hands look a little mitteny. Don't love that. Smooth them out a little bit. There we go. I do want a weird shape on his knee. Oh, look, a chin. Let's put a chin on his knee. Just want them to kind of stand out a little more. I'm going to lower the Z intensity. There we go. Kind of drawing more attention. Kind of looking like he skipped leg day right now, which is fine. The knee pits, or sometimes I call everything a ball. Eyeball, ear ball, knee ball. Arm balls. Well, looks like Jared solved our problem. Thanks, Jared. Well, this one came together like in 10 minutes. God damn. Love that. Love that for me. So I have been saving models and in their pre-pose stage for months, and this is the first time that I thought it would really benefit me, as opposed to being kind of like, it might save me time. I could tell definitively this is going to save a ton of time, and it did. So this is like the epic upgrade to the asset library. We just took the whole damn model pretty much. But it looks totally different, which is awesome. Okay. I don't want anything else from this. Oh, I need this. He wouldn't just magically spawn a ball and chain. It's really important that the armor holding him together is identical. And that's why I think the nails that strike through his skin make even more sense, because it holds him together whether he's in this small human form or this large beast mode, you know? Just a happy, gross accident. My favorite. His feet are so tiny still and pale. Okay, we're gonna make these look more intense. So we're gonna exaggerate the toe bones by just kind of striking over them with the standard brush. Then I'm gonna use move and backface mask to kind of round out those peaks and valleys I just created. Does he get a matching shoulder scar? Yes, I totally forgot. Thank you. Someone's paying attention. I mostly just did that shoulder scar as a demo for Aloha, and then I forgot to remove it. Not the first time that's happened. Won't be the last. Cool. Good catch. Okay, I do need to make these the same color, otherwise it's just odd. I do think I'm gonna go with black instead. There we go, that looks better. Sweet. And we'll just save this as one file called Abomination. And then really quick, I kinda wanna show you guys this because it's cool. This is the same mesh I use for the mummy. And by mesh, I mean like I created this model, did this. And now I've reused this and with some kit bashing and pretty much combining pieces from previous models I've created over the years. And then obviously some additional sculpting. We ended up with this. Pretty sick. Reaper said, this guy's having a bad day. He's having a bad life. Duke says, I think that's character. Also a cool transition holdover after the transformation. Absolutely. Very cool. I like details like this that are super small because if you paint it really, really clearly and then have these as separate moments on the table, it'd be fun to see if your character, like your players, figure out that it's the same character. It depends how big of a plot point you even want to make that, but it could potentially be very cool. The group I play with is crazy detail oriented. I know they'd pick it up. Every other group I've played with, no, absolutely not. They would see the abomination and they would just kill it immediately. No time for thinking, just killing. For those that like to play D&D as a murder hobo, good for you. But for most of us, the rest of us, it sucks playing with people like you. But it's also on me to find groups that I fit in better with. But also, fucking murder hobos. You guys are the worst. You know, it's funny. I played with one of my DMs once, not Gwen Walker. And that's how he played, kind of. And I was like shocked. I was like, you were the chosen one. He was not the kind of player I was expecting. I'm like, back to being banished to the DM, thank you. He's got like semi-jacked arms, but nothing else. these ridiculous knees. I just like that they grab a little bit of painting interest. Aloha says, I can't wait for me to be a surprise guest on Mia's campaign. That would be fun. Are you playing right now, Mia? I am. I play every Saturday with people from my Discord / Patreon supporters. It's like it's everyone from Discord. I met them all on Discord. But some of them, it's funny, like some of them came to my Discord because they support on Patreon, and then some of them found me on live streams. It's been a mixture of them. So the guy who requested this model today, so these two, is one of the players. So Dr. Wildfire is our DM, and then we have Aubrey, Otaka. Those are the two that I already knew. And then she brought in two people who work together. I don't know if they work with her, but they're friends of hers that work together. And their husband plays sometimes. All together, I think there's 7 of us, which is a lot of players, but it's very rare we're all at the same session. But it doesn't like hold up the story or anything because it's pretty much, it's a Monster Hunter campaign. So like you go out on quest, you kill stuff, you get cool gear or cool stuff to come home and make cool gear, and you rinse and repeat. It's been my favorite campaign I've ever played in. It has been kick-ass. So it's cool because we go back to the guild, we see the same NPCs. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. And then my DM is like kick-ass, so she's able to like really weave in like overarching storylines for each player without it holding up the whole campaign. So if you're not there every week, it doesn't matter. Your storyline just gets put on pause. Like on one hand, yeah, she's a really good DM. And on the other, it's like, yeah, she's put in thousands of hours. I think just on Roll20, I think it shows that she has like over 2,000 hours or something. Yeah, it's super fun. It's super fun. Reaper says, DM crafts a nuanced character. Players, kill it. Yeah. Duke says, do you have any recommendations for how to learn to play D&D? That's a great question. I hated my experience learning D&D. It was the fucking worst. So I'm trying to think of a way to tell you how to do it that wasn't mine. What I did is I just started playing D&D with my friends, and anytime I would have a question, I would look at the DM and I'd be like, hey, question. Like, do I add my proficiency bonus to this? And my DM would go to open their mouth to respond. And then every player at the table would all give their same wrong information. It was so freaking annoying. So what I would recommend, I cannot stress how annoying it was. I would do 2 things. I would build your character, follow like a video on YouTube, if that sounds like fun to you. I mean, you can just buy a player's handbook and it will walk you through how to create a character. It's more involved than you think. And it's more flipping back and forth on pages than you might think. But it's doable. And then I would actually ask whatever group that you joined to have like a session 0 just with you and your DM, nobody else, like a 30-minute to an hour session. And you just like run through mechanics and maybe even like simulate a very simple combat. And then you can kind of get your feet under you. But like, try to set that rule really clear if you play with a group and you're trying to learn D&D, to tell your other fellow players to like respectfully shut the fuck up, because like, it's really annoying. And like, I learned so many things like half backwards, half not. It was very annoying. Yeah. Because it's confusing. And at the end of the day, DM rules. So I don't even care if some of the players were more right or whatever, because your DM is who decides. Good question though. As far as like finding a group to play with, we do have a channel in our Discord called Looking for a TTRPG Group. I guarantee someone will be down to like run a one-shot or hang out and do that if you don't want to hang out with the peasants. No offense taken. There are also, like Roll20 I think has forums online where you can also just play with some randoms. Yeah. Yeah, it makes a huge difference to find the right group to play with. You want to find a group that kind of has more of like your play style too. Like I'm on the more serious side. The murder hoboing stuff really annoys me. And like my group's super immature in like a fun way. Like don't get me wrong, they laugh at everything. Like everything. But it's really sweet and it's very funny, so I don't mind as long as like stuff happens. I would just say that if you're going to try out D&D, give it at least a couple sessions And a couple of games at that, because there's so much variation to it. Yeah. When Delia says, finding the right group is key, and something unfortunate I have found is good friends are not necessarily good D&D friends. Maybe that's the key. When Delia, now that you've mentioned it, every time that I've played D&D with my friends, which has been 3 different groups, it kind of sucked. It really it sucked. It blew chunks. Like, they would just talk the whole time about real life stuff. And like, I do not play D&D to talk about real life, okay? You're messing up my escapism. Please and thank you. And like, obviously I would say like, Avery and Otaka and Gwen, I wouldn't say like they're not my friends, but like, I don't know them. I don't even know what they look like. And I love that for me. I don't know if they're arguing with their mother-in-law or if they relate to work every day this week. Like, I don't know, and I don't give a shit. I am here to play D&D and have fun. It's not a therapy session. So pro tip, don't play with your friends. Or play Baldur's Gate 3. Honestly, that really does scratch that itch for me. It really does. Speaking of last Saturday, not this last one, but one before that, I just played Baldur's Gate all weekend, and then I had D&D, and it was the best. It's like I just had like played 30 hours of D&D. It's awesome. Man, Medelia, I'm really glad that you said that. I never really quite connected that. I'm kind of weird with that too. Like, growing up, I was like the confidant for a lot of my friends, and like I enjoyed that. I like being needed, and I like being helpful and providing a fresh perspective. And then I was like, it's like the day that I turned 25. I was like, I'm tired of your shit. I don't know your problems. I don't know your last name. I don't know anything. We were friends. We were here to have a good time. I'm not going to sit here and listen to you vent. And sure enough, I have a great time. But there are like no strings attached. Like, I've had friends that will still call me in the middle of the night, and I don't know the people they're talking about. I don't know the context, but they're just having a bad night. I'm like, great, let's go have a good time. Not worry about it. As far as the other detailed stuff, that's for your therapist. Thanks. Duke said, I would absolutely need someone to teach me from the ground up, because it's what you know is memology of the internet. No, you don't. Where's my book? There we go. You need to buy this. Read this. This is the way. Buy the Player's Handbook. It's like $30. Yeah, you can find a PDF online for free, I'm sure, but I hate doing that. Literally, chapter 1 is step-by-step characters. Chapter 2, races, classes, personality, equipment, customization options. And then part 2 is playing the game. And it literally tells you like how to use ability scores, how to do combat, everything. And it's like, do you really expect me to read a 300-page book? You really don't have to. You just need to read like the beginning of each section. So like, for each main part here, just read like the first 2 pages, literally. Like, you don't need to read every single class. Just read like the basic components for one of them, you know? Or just pick the ones you're interested in. So yeah. I could totally break down all of this in like a 5-minute video. Maybe I will. People overcomplicate the fuck out of D&D. Because it can be complicated, it can be crunchy, but when you start off really complicated, it makes it not fun. And it's really just, it doesn't have to be that complicated. Sean says, D&D should only be about fun. I've had to kick folks from my table before. A son and mom duo. You know, I understand. That's all I can say. Reaper says, as if I could afford a therapist. Not when friends are free. Aloha. Oh my god, this is great. Immediate meme. Hey, do you like D&D? My friend immediately opening the rule book. Damn, I have such a crooked, like, little mouth smile there. It's cute. I like that. Awesome. And again, Duke, if you were like, did she seriously just tell me to read a 300-page book? No, like, again, just, it really breaks it down. The Player's Handbook is really good, and it really does just get to the point. And the best part is, if you're reading it and you're like, wait, what? Wait, what? Just hop into our Discord, and every time you think a question, Just type it in general and you will get swarmed with people being excited to answer and explain. Just specify it's D&D 5e because it is different, whether it's 3rd edition or Pathfinder. We don't talk about 4th edition. I don't know why. Does D&D 4th edition even exist? I've never even heard people talk about it, just 3rd and 5th. Anyway. Duke says, Mia, thank you. I really appreciate the point in the right direction, and I would absolutely watch a video or a live stream of this. I would love to do that. I would love to do a bonus stream where we build a character together and just explain how the fuck to do this. Maybe I'll learn some stuff too, because I don't have it perfect yet either. That'd be really cool. The real answer here is I should just DM a one-shot for you and a couple other people on the Discord, but I'm still not brave enough to do that. Maybe next year. I spent all my bravery points this year signing up for like cow sorting clinic, okay? Sean says 4E was my starter. Oh, in high school it is remembered as sucking because there was a lot of stuff to keep track of. More than 5E. Oh, gotcha. Duke says if the answer is RTFD, then that is what I'll do. Read the fucking book? No, it's RFTB. I don't know what that acronym is, but I like what I said. Oh, rich text format directory. I understand. I liked read the fucking book better. I was so close. Oh, it cracked me up. Okay. I sculpted this character in like 20 minutes and didn't expect to. So we're going to call this a huge win. And we're going to move right along. Just going to save that as Abomination. Ah, read the fucking directions. There we go. That was close. Oh, also, I am horrified that I shared with y'all that I caught my first shiny in Pokemon ever. Not even a single heart. You break my heart. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I've been playing Pokemon for years. You guys don't understand. Since before I could read. 5, playing Crystal, and a little SP. Like, I've never seen a shiny. And the fact that it was at full odds is crazy, because I have done shiny hunting, and I have completed the dex and got the shiny charm, and done the bullshit. I have done the things, okay? And I've never, ever found a shiny, and I did yesterday. It's very exciting. It was very exciting. If you're like, what are you talking about? In Pokemon, it's called a shiny if they're a slightly different color palette, essentially. The base odds are 1 out of 4,096, which is 0.024%. Again, not a quarter of a percent, 0.024%. Anyway, I'm so happy. Fuck y'all for not making a big deal about it. Sean says, me too. I played Red Blue when I was 4, and the cards actually taught me how to read. Oh, how cool! I like it. Universal, dork lore, amazing. I honestly have the credit playing Animal Crossing on GameCube for me being able to read, like, early on. Man, today was fun. Also, this is great. This is my new favorite. Thanks. Why did I hold it like that? I don't know. Alright, we're going to do a little render goodness, and that's going to close out today's stream. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. This is a really good time. Oh, and nothing's on the menu. The Taverb menu is closed. If y'all super chat or donate, I say big thank you. You get nothing other than a thank you. Menu is closed. So just in case you were waiting to extend the stream by 2 hours for $10. No way. There we go. Nice little render. And a screenshot. Alright, smile. Duke said, I played Ruby and just got my 5-year-old daughter into the OG series. Oh, heck yeah. When do you consider that starting? Like yellow or like, I don't know, fire red, leaf green? That was before Emerald, right? Aloha. Don't forget, guys, to arrive early for the next stream for the pre-drinks Aloha chat section. It was a huge success. I was amazed I didn't just yeet. I wanted to ban you as a joke, Aloha, but then I'd delete all of your hard work, so I was feeling gracious today. This model is so kinky. I may or may not stream tomorrow. Wednesday is kind of a toss-up. Sometimes I take it off, sometimes I don't. Just letting you know. Only a 2-hour stream. I thought it would take 3 hours for sure. I didn't expect this model to be like, done. Cool. Duke says red, blue, yellow. And yes, the OG series was yellow. Gotcha. Gotcha. And red and blue, that wasn't the same thing as like fire red, right? I did not have yellow for very long. Is that what I had on the SP or was that the original? I don't know, I was like so small. Literally like 5 years old. Yellow didn't come out. Oh yeah. Very cool. And then what are you going to do this afternoon, Mia? I'm going to write some stat blocks for the Kickstarter that release that is finished, going out soonish. I'm going to post-process the lizard folk. And then I'm going to keep playing Pokemon on my Switch. Oh, I bought a Switch too this weekend. Yeah. The Nintendo Switch 2 is a fortune. I agree. But I traded in my old one and I had a Series S that I hadn't traded in yet. So pretty much half off after that math. It's gonna be a good time. Okay, yeah, Fire Red was a remake. Very cool. Yeah, I did not play red and blue. I played yellow a little bit, barely at all. I did play all of Fire Red, which I thought was way better than Leaf Green. I realized they're almost the exact same game, but... Alright, let's go ahead and move into last call. If you have any last minute questions, comments, concerns, just kidding, I don't want to know your comments or concerns. If you have questions, or just general Pokemon chatter, now is the time. Stream is ending in about 5 minutes. It was a great stream though, I really enjoyed it. If you had a good time, please like the stream. It helps. Stonks, numbers, whatever. How do you make money with art? You don't. That's what I'm gonna start saying. We have not had someone come into the stream and ask that in a while. Not really. Now it's just an ongoing joke. You know what cracks me up? 'Cause every time we had people come in like, oh, how do I make money with art? I'd be like, oh, okay, what art are you making? They're like, okay, well, I'm gonna learn 3D. And I'm like, I don't like you. How about you learn 3D first? Jared, sad face. You do make money with art though. This is true. Jared said, my question is, are you ready for fall? I am so ready. It is here. Yeah, Jared says I'm so done with summer. You guys aren't quite done with it there. You got a ways to go. It was much, much cooler here today. not to rub it in. Yeah, it's 74 here right now. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Freaking love Tennessee. All right, I think that is a wrap for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Jared just crying in the background. All right, that's probably a good note to end the stream on. Yeah, no, it is 74 right now. It is amazing. Okay. Great day. You guys made my day a bit better. I hope the stream also made your day a bit better. Till next time. Bye.